Hello gamers, Star Wars season finally continues here with Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. As expected, this is a game of the film and plays out as a third-person action adventure. It was released back in 1999 for the Sony PlayStation and PC. As expected, being an adaptation of the film, it pretty much follows the events of the story of the film. Throughout the game, at various points, you play as Obi-Wan Kenobi, Qui-Gon Jinn, Captain Panaka, and Padme Amidala. Although most of the game has to be solved by fighting your enemies, a fair part of the game also requires you to solve puzzles and do RPG-style quests. At points in the film where it would not make a good video game, the game will either expand, create, or come up with alternate scenes. For example, when on Coruscant, when Anakin is being presented towards the Jedi Council, you will play as Captain Panaka guiding Amidala to Senator Palpatine. I played this game on the PC, so there are no designated controls as such, but I'll do my best to describe them to you. The arrow button has moved the character around, and the attack button pretty much does what it says. There is the all-important action button and a button put aside for force push. The jump button, when pressed twice, will allow you to double jump when playing as a Jedi. There are assigned buttons to select each weapons you want, and different combinations of the buttons can lead to different attacks. The graphics of Star Wars Episode 1 were not terrible, but they were not great either. While the level design was a high point with nice developed levels on the Trade Federation ship and Tatooine, the character models looked slightly off. While various parts of their bodies looked well designed, another part would look exact opposite. This game contains all the music of the film, and even though the actual actors did not voice the game, stand-ins did not do a half-bad job. Originally, when the game was going to come out, there was going to be extra levels, such as playing as Captain Tarpals in the Battle of Naboo, plus early screenshots revealed that Mace Windu was going to be a playable character. Since this game has been released, there have been a further 5 games based around Episode 1. There was Episode 1 Racer, released in 1999 for Nintendo 64, Dreamcast, Game Boy Color and PC, which had an arcade sequel released in 2000. Also in 2000, Jedi Power Battles was released for the PlayStation 1, Dreamcast and Game Boy Advance in 2002. Obi-Wan Adventures was another game to be released, and finally, a pinball game was released in 1999. On to the bad points about this game. The camera is awkwardly placed in this game, making combat difficult at times. Although it can be corrected with cheat codes, it still isn't fantastic. The non-Jedi parts of this game is also really boring. Shooting a blaster is nothing in comparison to using a lightsaber. With lightsabers in mind, the final lightsaber battle with Darth Maul is anticlimactic, with the wrong type of music, and just overall really badly planned out. Also, too many times do the characters get separated in this game, thus destroying the opportunity that they could have had for a co-op in this game, and just deters the story of the film a hell of a lot more than it needed to be. There are some good points, however. The levels based around Qui-Gon Jinn are really good. The RPG and action elements are balanced out nicely, and you can see an early blueprint for the Knights of the Old Republic series coming out in it. Levels based around the Jedi overall are pretty fun, with you being able to deflect laser blasts and perform different force moves. The voice acting in this game, as mentioned before, is quite good, considering that they didn't manage to get the proper actors to come back and do the role. If Star Wars Episode 1 was purely made up of the Jedi levels, then this game would have easily got a 7 out of 10. However, the levels where you play as Panaka and Padme really drag the standard down. Plus, a better camera would have helped. I think this game gets a 5 out of 10. The next part of Star Wars season will be looking at possibly the best Star Wars game ever made, if at least not got one of the greatest stories. I'll be looking at Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic. Until then, I'll see you later.